Hi and welcome to Travels in Pictland. Today I'm off to Pittenweem, a pretty coastal town on the coast of Fife, famous for its fishing and its long history. Just off the harbour area there's an alley that leads up to a famous place of pilgrimage dating back to Pictish times. And that's where we're off to. Pittenweem means place of the cave, and the cave is in here. Security's tight in Pittenweem. I've to collect the key from a cosy coffee shop in the village. This is St. Fillan's cave, a holy place for centuries, and we're going to take a look inside and see what we can find out. Let's go in and see. St. Fillan's cave. Whoa. So, the early Christians in Pictland came from the Ninians outreach, which was 100 years before Columba. So here we are in the inner cave. You can see that an altar has been built. The cave was reconsecrated in about 1933 and became a place of pilgrimage. For a while it was used to house witches during the witch hunts of James I. So a terrible place to house some poor women accused of some horrible crimes they probably didn't do. But anyway, it's also been used as a smuggler's cave. Apparently there's a little trickle of water coming in somewhere which is meant to be holy water, so we'll see if we can find that and maybe it will bless us too. And here's a wee pool of water from the holy spring. So the problem we seem to have with St. Fillan's is that there's two different St. Fillans. There's one who was active here in the 6th century, and another, much more famous, who was active here in the 8th century. The first Fillan was born then sometime round about 550 and was active still in the 500s as a missionary here. But remember, these were holy men. They were ascetics. They had a spiritual outlook on life. They cared for the environment. They cared for people. These were the people who introduced the first laws to stop non-combatants getting caught up in battles. So anyway, the St. Fillan that I'm particularly interested in is the early one, the obscure one, who also travelled all over Pictland and spent a lot of time up at Loch Earn at a place called St. Fillan's. And up on a hill called Dundurn, there's a thing called St. Fillan's Seat, and there's a holy well. And right up until about the 17th century, people with mental illness would get taken up the hill and get dragged down on their backside and make wishes and pledges at the holy well to cure them of their madness. The other Fillan is the guy who seems to have been attributed to having an arm that glowed in the dark. So he could sit in this cave and read his holy scriptures and light the place up with his left arm. Now, I don't know how that works out. The saints' stories are called hagiographies, and they're not always completely true. There's a lot of allegories and stuff going on in them. So the glowing arm in the dark, I'm not sure about. But a bone from that arm was carried in to the Battle of Bannockburn as a talisman for the Scottish army with Robert the Bruce against the English hundreds of years later. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the place. It's pretty cool. I don't know if I could live in it myself. Unexpected and unusual things often happen on these Pictish road trips. This was the case today. These tourists came in the cave and burst into song. I managed to catch some of it on camera for you. What a cool thing to happen. So these holy men in Pictland, you know, they were called saints, but I think that almost pushes them into some kind of, I don't know, unhuman state of form, you know, angelic type people. And really they weren't. They were ordinary, normal humans who'd experienced God and had dedicated their lives. But they were just like you and me, you know, they had the same desires and same needs as anyone else. So it's a bit of a weird thing to call them saints and put them on a big plinth, you know. But anyway, these holy men, when they went around, they tended to have a bell to sort of let people know that they were around. And quite a few of these bells have survived. And they also had a thing called a staff, a pastoral staff. And these staffs were called croziers. And there was a family entrusted to look after Fillan's crozier. The Jewers were the keepers of these holy relics. And for a while, Fillan's crozier went to America in the 1800s. It had to be brought back. People were using it over there to cure animals and stuff. There's so much history on these Pictish road trips, so much that I can't show you. There's just not enough time. But I hope you've enjoyed the trip round Fillan's cave, and I really hope that if you do come to Scotland or you live in Scotland, come along to Pittenweem and the East Neuk of Fife. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'll see you later. £50 to let you.